I'm Abel.
And I'm Kyron.
Welcome to Transitions TV. Today the big topic is Crossrail, the largest engineering project in Europe.
Crossrail is a new train line that connects East and West London together for the first time ever.
And now we'll be going over to Ahmed.
Hi, I'm Ahmed. Crossrail's problem is they have an important building in the way. We need to avoid this building. We have two routes. The cheapest way is a straight line route from Paddington to Bond Street Station.
The direct route is the shortest one, but it's built right underneath the building, so if the ground movements are too big, it could cause cracks in the building and could damage it. The longer route, which is the safer one, goes right around the building. That means the building wouldn't be affected by the ground movements, but this is more expensive because it is the longest route.
Back to the studio.
Thank you, Ahmed.
And now over to Jamil, who's going to tell us all about what the engineers have to do with the material that they're going to take out of the ground.
Thank you, studio. I'm here at Paddington Station. Tunneling for the new Crossrail line is going to start just west of here at Royal Walk. As such a big tunnel has to be dug, lots of material will come out of the ground and will have to be put somewhere. So the clever engineers at Crossrail will have to figure out how to take out the material and how to transport it. The total waste we will get out of the tunnels will be over 600,000 meters cubed. It will take over 7,000 buses to carry the waste. That's nearly all the buses in London. The distance for the trips are equivalent to 96 times around the world. We have three options where we can take the materials. There are Wallasey Island, Thames Gateway and Mucking Marshes Tips. The solution the bright engineers have come up with is that all the material that's been dug up should be transported to the Thames Gateway project. This is because it can take nearly all the material and most of the material will be recycled. Also, as Canvey Island isn't that far, there will be a smaller carbon footprint than other choices as some places are further than others.
And now over to Ronaldo, who's going to tell us about what they might do with the materials.
Hi, I'm Ronaldo and I'm just outside Royal Oak Station, just outside Paddington. Recently, Crossrail have had to work out what to do with all the waste material that have come out of the ground with digging their tunnel. They had four main options to use the material for a golf course, a nature reserve, a ski slope, and making bricks for other building materials. They had to work out the best option based on the amount of money they could sell it for, the cost of transporting the material and the cost of the environment. Crossrail came up with the two best options of a golf course and a nature reserve at Wallasey Island. The golf course has the lowest cost, but Wallasey has the best impact on the environment. A decision will be made soon. One can ask the public what they would like to see the material used for. This is what they said.
See that they get something constructive out of it.
I think there's probably enough golf courses already, and there's a few ski resorts, so probably a nature reserve might be the best idea.
I do like the sound of a ski resort.
Ski resort, definitely.
In central London?
I quite like snowboarding, so I would go with making the kind of ski resort option myself. I'd definitely use it.
Ideally, it should be something ecological.
What? Like a nature reserve?
I would think that's probably a good idea.
Back to the studio.
Thanks, Ronaldo.
As you can see, we have been joined by a special guest, Susan Clements from the Institution of Civil Engineers.
So Susan, what are the main challenges facing Crossrail?
Crossrail is a very big engineering project, and London is a very big, built-up, busy city. So we need to plan very carefully so that we cause as little as possible of disruption to the people of London.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thanks.
Thank you all and good night.
Hi, welcome to Transitions TV. I'm Marek.
And I'm Shane. Today we're talking about the Crossrail project and some important steps engineers have to take. Our station is Tottenham Court Road.
First of all, we have Jordan talking about public movement around the station.
Crossrail is a new railway across London that will help cut journey times with lots of trains every hour, with lots of people every hour. Some of the benefits of Crossrail include making London's railways able to carry more people between more places and making stops for people, cutting journey times and making journeys more comfortable. Also, engineers are looking at the people and traffic during rush hour and how crowded the pavements around the station will be. Where is the station? The station is at Tottenham Court Road, which is in the heart of London. This animation will show the number of people walking down the road. Oxford Street is one of the busiest streets in London. On average, 18 people will join the pavement every 20 seconds. That is 4,000 people an hour. After Crossrail opens, another 3,000 people will be on the street. This number of people is too many, which makes the pavements crowded. Engineers have come up with a solution to ease crowds using the stations. Other entrances would be a good idea, but it costs too much money. Another option would be to use signs on the street which shows people which way to go to big shops or restaurants, which diverts them to a less crowded area. Finally, engineers are thinking about improving walking routes and where bus stops are. This will also improve the amount of space on the pavement. We now have a short clip of us interviewing members of the public about Crossrail.
Probably trying to find your way across the stations, platforms, exits and things like that. Better signing would be helpful.
I think initially my big concern is overcrowding. It's bad enough using the central line during peak as it is. So I think it would possibly become a bit dangerous if they don't improve the existing stations to make sure they can deal with increased capacity. So that's my main concern.
More people in London will mean more people shopping, which is probably good for the businesses, but more people crowding the tubes, which isn't good.
Well, the first thing is, of course, it brings them in instead of using the roads. That's going to be positive. So there is some real positives to it. Any more rail links that people use are great. Of course, it depends on the cost as to how popular it's going to be. But I think London's pretty busy. I live in the country down in Cornwall. We don't have anywhere near as many people. And I think you've just got to get used to the fact that if you encourage more people to come in, you've got to deal with them. So bringing them into London's great, but then you've got to move them around and look after them. Big issue.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Jordan. Now over to Answer talking about the tunnelling. Crossrail is a new train line which is going deep underground through central London. Tottenham Court Road will be one of the new stations for Crossrail. At the moment, Tottenham Court Road is a very busy underground station. When the new Crossrail is built, it will help reduce the number of people using existing trains when it's very busy. Crossrail has designed a new platform tunnel at the station. There are things in the way of this tunnel, such as other tunnels, unexploded bombs, and wells. When they decided about designing the tunnel, they had to think about avoiding all of the obstacles underground. The tunnel goes through London clay. This is the best soil to tunnel through because it supports itself well, which makes it the cheapest. The Crossroad Tunnel is going to be as tall as 2 double-decker buses. It has to be this big so that it can fit the train and the passengers on the platform. It is important that the tunnel is as straight as possible. This will make it cheaper, easier to build, and less materials will be needed. Also, it will be a more comfortable and a faster journey. Now here's the best bit. Here's an animation about how the station's being built.
Stage 1. Start of building work. The building already there has been knocked down. Blue wooden wall is placed around the building site to protect people from dust and machines.
3.
Stage 2. Clear out stones, bricks and other rubbish to make the building site safe. The engineers put in a concrete mixer. This will make it easier and quicker and therefore cheaper to make the concrete they need to build the station. Stage 3. They put in a steel wall for protection so the earth doesn't fall in on the workmen who are working in the hole. Stage 4. Install a temporary lift to transport workers and machines to the bottom of the hole.
3.
Stage 5. The soil from the building site, which is recycled for use on another building site. Stage 6. Concrete is made on the side in a giant mixer and used to make a base at the bottom of the hole. Stage 7. Put in a strip of concrete on top of the steel walls to fix them together so they can't move back.
3.
Stage 8. Put in columns between the floor and the ceiling to support the roof. Stage 9. Put in the remaining floors and the lifts and escalators up to the ground floor. After that, the station is finished and the engineers will put in the buildings above ground. Thank you.
And goodbye.
Hi, I'm Kieran.
And I'm James.
And we are representatives of Transitions TV.
And we spent the day out of our reporters regarding the Crossrail.
We will be starting with Rory regarding the issues of ticket offices in the Whitechapel station.
Hello, I'm Rory. I'm here at Whitechapel. I've been looking at different methods of buying underground travel tickets to see how the new Crossrail project is going to work. One of the main issues with buying tickets is that there aren't enough ticket machines or staff ticket offices, so therefore there are very long queues. But most people use Oystercard nowadays, so ticket machines and ticket offices are becoming less of a problem. But with Oystercards there is a new problem: topping them up. There are many different methods of topping up your Oyster cards. Using the internet, going to the local shop and using machines. However, inevitably, people using Oyster cards may forget to top it up. In this event, they will need to top up at the train station. So there is an obvious need for a self-service topping up facility, as well as the ones that are already on offer. I've been talking with members of the public to hear their views of buying tickets and main issues concerning buying tickets. Here are their responses.
There's many issues with buying tickets on the underground because I just top up my Oyster once a week for Zone 1 and 2 pass, and it's usually pretty quick.
I don't buy any, I have an Oyster card. Usually there's either no one at the ticket desk and there's a board up in the window, or secondly, if you see that, you go to the machine, which usually to the right, and you find that's out of order. You can't get to the station you want to get to because obviously they're going to charge you £10 if you jump over the barriers.
I have any issues buying tickets on the underground because I use an Oyster card, which works pretty well most of the time.
Back to the studio.
Thank you, Rory. And now we're over to Joshua's group regarding the area surrounding the station.
My name is Joshua and I'm here to report to the BBC about the Crossrail project. The size of the current Whitechapel station is very large and has left a lot of room for engineers to develop a design for the new Whitechapel station. The new Whitechapel station and Crossrail would benefit the public in many different ways, one of which is the permanent roofing. This would be put in place once the station is completed. This would benefit the market because the stall holders would have a permanent roof instead of a temporary one, which would stop rain coming in. A new community internet cafe would benefit the public positively because a lot of the people in this area do not have a computer or internet. So the internet cafe would mean they have permanent access in it. Accessibility help would mean that if you have a disability, then you would be helped all the way, with a place for you to go if you need help. Worries about deliveries have been made and congestion, and this is currently being sorted out.
Thank you, Josh. And now we'll visit Jermaine's report about accessibility.
Thank you. Today I would like to talk about the difficulties at Whitechapel Station with the way people access different platforms and how they might struggle to get around the station due to physical disabilities. We have interviewed some people who have expressed their feelings about the difficulties. What do you think about the access to platforms at big interchange stations?
I think that they're probably not too bad at the moment, but there's always room for some improvement.
Small at the moment, especially the stairways going up and down. They're not wide enough to allow people onto the platforms or off the platforms, especially during busy hours.
Actually quite dreadful because in rush hour, when you get a lot of people, they can't fit. It takes a long time to walk through the platforms. There's quite often there's a crash, and it's even worse when there are some delays because there's so many people waiting for a train, for example, and it turns up people don't have enough time to get on the train. They should be at least twice as big as they are now to accommodate it all.
Engineers have come up with a solution to try and change the way people get around in a station to make it easier to get to platforms and to help minimize the amount of people in the crowded station. They have come up with many ideas with solutions such as escalators, lifts and ramps, all to help people get around the station without having to worry about alternative ways to get to their platforms. Here is a cartoon showing the difficulties people may have to face trying to get to the platforms. Back to the studio.
Thank you to Jermaine. Finally, we have Curtis's report about sustainability.
Hi, I'm Curtis, reporting for the BBC from Whitechapel Tube Station. The following report is about future plans to redevelop Whitechapel Station. We have been out in the field, interviewing commuters and shoppers about the sustainability of the new building. Interviews The interviews focused on the possible introduction of renewable energy in the form of wind turbines and the potential visual impact it may have on the local environment. We asked members of the public to find out what their general opinion towards the introduction of turbines as shown in the following presentation.
Sounds like a good idea. Depends where they're going to be, I suppose. Where are they going to put them?
Well, it depends how it's going to affect the environment, really.
I think that's absolutely fine. I think any kind of environmental thing is great, and it just moves us all forward to being more green as a nation.
I think it's a good idea. Very good idea.
I think it'd be fine if it's going to be something that will be useful for the community. That sounds like a good idea.
Take into account the visual impact offset against the benefits of using renewable energy. Campaigners for the introduction of the wind turbines' main argument is that after installation costs, it will provide cheap infinite energy which will pay for itself eventually. However, there are opposers to the plans. Certain people would argue that the wind turbines are an eyesore. They are large by the nature of their design and obviously have to be visible to do their job. The other main objection to the turbines is the fear of them causing too much noise pollution continuously whilst in operation. Back to the studio.
Big thank you, Curtis. This concludes our show for tonight. Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello and welcome to Transitions News. I'm Shane Challenger.
And I'm Nikki Mills. And on today's show we have
what the public think of the new Crossrail, and we'll be finding out more about the Canary Wharf station and the potential designs for it.
First up, we have Billy Hull, live at the BBC, interviewing members of the British public. Hello, Billy.
Thank you, studio. And we're in the BBC asking the public how the Crossrail project will affect their daily commute into London.
It won't affect me personally because I don't live in that sort of area of London, but I think it's a really good idea. I can imagine it will really speed up the commute for a lot of people, and trains these days are just so overcrowded and packed and uncomfortable. I think any sort of direct service like that would probably benefit a lot of commuters, yeah.
Not really, no. I live 10 minutes away from here, so it wouldn't affect me at all, really.
Probably not much, because I sort of drive up to the Central Line, then catch across the line from there, so probably wouldn't affect me much at all.
It won't at all. I'm in North East London, so it won't make any difference to me at all.
Only if I was going to go to Heathrow for a trip, but otherwise no, not really.
As you can see, the Crossrail projects won't affect many people in the BBC. This is mainly because they live near the area or the Crossrail project doesn't pass through their daily commute. And back to the studio.
Thank you, Billy. Now we have an amazing surprise for you, an animation of a fantastic new design of the Canary Wharf station. Let's take a look what Jake Britton has to show us.
As you walk over the glass footbridge towards the revolving doors, you will feel like you're walking on water. Canary Wharf behind you, you'll feel as if you're entering a different world. Green roof, fresh air and scents as you enter the jungle. The water fountain enters your eyesight as you reach the middle of the station. The water feature can be viewed at the top of the station. As you descend down to the platform, you follow the giant tank water feature all the way to the bottom. When reaching the bottom of the escalators, you will see the bottom of the tanks with the tower above you. When you get down to the platform, there will be a marble floor and see people on benches. The doors close and everyone scurries.
Thanks, Jake. That was exciting stuff. Now we cross over to Jamie Kendall, who is also live at the BBC's reception desk. He is asking members of the public their views on the new station.
Hi, I'm Jamie Kendall, and I'm going to be asking people on their views about the Crossrail project. Right now I'm in BBC.
I'm not sure. I'm a bit concerned about all the shop owners who have their shops.
I think it's a good idea. London needs more transport.
Very useful for the commuter.
It's a good thing. I think it's always good to have more transport. Hopefully take some cars off the road, and that's got to be a good thing.
Well, I think it's very interesting. It could make travel across London a lot quicker. On the other hand, it might go past other people's houses, which might be rather upsetting. So those are my two feelings about it.
I've asked people on their views. Most of them said it would improve London's transport. Thank you. Back to the studio.
We heard some interesting things there, Jamie. Next we will view another short animation of an alternative design that Canary Wharf could turn into. Here it is.
As the sliding glass train doors open from the smooth journey you have just taken from one end of London to another, a new amazing station will be waiting for you to enter. Surrounding you will be a colourful rolling adverts for all the shops which fill the station. On the lower floor, a big sign saying "Welcome to Canary Wharf Station" will catch your eye, and either side of the signs will be many boards with the train times. Turning left out to the station, there will be ticket information booths where tickets can be bought. A few steps away from the ticket booth, in the centre of the floor, will be a large, attractive water feature underneath a high ceiling. It will be a marine themed and very modern. Another escalator will lead to another floor, which is a ticket hall. It will have more advertising, shops, toilets, and a massive electronic timetable.
I certainly learnt a lot from that. Well, I hope you did too.
Sadly, that's all we have time for today, but don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 5:35.
Bye for now.
Bye.